The livestock markets also faced some challenges in 2018, including big supplies and tariffs. Joining us to talk more about livestock are experts Tim Petrie and Brian Strumman. Tim, we had record supplies of all meats really in 2018. What about 2019? Will supply ease back at all?
No, it won't. In fact, we're going to go up. We didn't quite hit a record beef supply in 2018, but for sure we will in 2019. And then we've been doing record beef and poultry for the last 4 years, and that's going to continue. You know, hog numbers are up. Breeding numbers are up 2.5%. So the handwriting's on the wall. So we're going to have record meat supplies in 2019.
Brian, what about you? We keep hearing about that we're past the wall of cattle and that cattle numbers might start to decline here, at least starting to into the first quarter. Is that going to happen?
You know, I think when you look at the cattle on feed reports, the last 3 we've showed our placements down. And when you look at the numbers of cattle that we've got, again, our on-feed numbers are higher than they have been for quite some time. I think we're still going to have a wall of cattle coming possibly for the next 6 months.
Big supplies, but we've had very strong demand, some record export months for both pork and beef. And so, Tim, do we continue to see those strong exports into 19? And what happens if we do get a deal with China?
On the beef side, we send very little to China anyway, but on the pork side, it certainly hurt us, and pork exports have been down significantly. Although China has been in here the last couple of weeks like they have in beans and other things. So, yeah, the export market is very important. On the beef side, the good news is we've been doing record beef exports every month, and that's the expectation for next year. But you know, there are headwinds there, and the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement is not passed by Congress yet. It has been signed, and Canada and Mexico are both big customers for us. So, you know, that's something for us to watch here into 2019.
And Brian, do you agree demand will stay strong?
You know, I certainly do, and our demand has been good. Exports have been good. I think when you look at the general economy, I think that is something to watch. We've seen a lot of volatility in the Dow Jones here the past month. I think for the month of December, we're going back at a performance for the Dow maybe being the worst it's been since 1931. So again, I think our general economy going forward, you look at disposable income, and crude oil prices falling certainly helps again as far as prices at the gas pump. But again, I think we have to look at consumers and what they have for disposable income.
So let's talk about your marketing recommendations for 19, short and long term, Tim.
I think producers look at the futures market now, and the futures market for both feeder cattle and live cattle, the prices are the same as the cash prices last year. So they look at that and they say, okay, everything's fine with the same prices. But again, there are a lot of headwinds out there with the economy and trade. And then weather, we haven't even talked about, is the big thing. And how many acres of corn are we going to have? 1 million more, or 5 million more, or what are beans going to do? So there are a lot of headwinds. So I'm saying for cow-calf producers, it's a little tougher to do pre-pricing, but whatever risk management they've used in the past, certainly don't forget it just because prices look like they're going to be the same. Use those same strategies that you've been using, and the market is going to be volatile. We know that, and so you have to deal with that.
How do you protect against that volatility?
You certainly have a couple different options as far as the futures market goes. There's an LRP program for beef cow producers. You can also use options to protect your calves as you move forward. Certainly there's some tools available that individuals have to look at and take advantage of when that time arises.
Thanks so much for your expertise and your time today.